Welcome to Before Floor, the pregame edition of Five on the Floor. Am I good? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Brought to you by the Five Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host Jonathan, aka Three Piece Combo. I'm joined by a full panel tonight. Actually, we got Mateo Mayorga, of course, Mr. Marco _ Rome, and Mr. Timmy as well. So make sure you guys follow everybody out there on Twitter and everywhere else too. Now, as always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys subscribe, do all that stuff to make sure you don't miss any of the South Florida sports stuff, the Miami Heat interviews, all the stuff that Brady and all of them do over on the main stuff. So make sure you guys, like I said, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. As well as if you're young with a family and you want to make sure your assets are protected, go to markbrownpa.com. That's MARC brownpa.com. Or give him a call. It's 954-866-8513. He's based out of North Lauderdale, services the entire South Florida area. He'll give you a free consultation. And like I said, if you're young and with a family, you do want to make sure that your house is all your money. If something happens to you, goes to the right people. Like I said, visit markbrownpa.com. Website's on the screen. Or give them a call, 954-866-8513. Support our Heat fans. Make sure you don't support any Lakers or Celtics or Knicks fans, right? Don't want any of the Knicks fans either. And, of course, guys, we do our prize picks every single day, every single pregame. So to maximize your money, use that promo code 5. That's FIVE. We'll match your initial deposit up to $100. So that's literally $100 free money. That's up to 20 free plays. And maximize your money. We'll use a flex play. We'll get a little bit more into this later. Guys, we're coming off of a very tough loss against the Chicago Bulls. Now, like I said, that would have only been the fourth time this season that the Heat would have been on a 3-game winning streak, which isn't really showing a lot of consistency from this team. Yeah, Marco showing exactly what's going on here. But I want to take a look back at that game and maybe some adjustments you can make going forward. Mateo, what did you see from the game versus the Bulls, and maybe what some adjustments we can make moving forward?
Well, I apologize if it's a little loud because I'm at the arena and they got the PA system in testing mode. But in that Chicago game from, I believe it was Saturday, the biggest problem I took away from it was the 70 first half points the Chicago Bulls scored in the first 24 minutes. Miami was down 25 points as a result of it. And really, the drag on the Heat season all year has been the lack of consistent shooting. And they did have, a nice stretch of, marksmanship for the 8 games prior to Chicago, but in that game it really went downhill, and in the following game after that against Detroit, and really you're seeing Miami isn't built to come back from large deficits or even sustain leads itself. And in that game, in the third quarter, they managed to cut the deficit down to 6 points because Butler, Adebayo, and Strus went hammer time. But the Chicago Bulls nailed a couple more triples later in that game, and they extended the lead back up to double digits. And really, the Heat ran out of gas. The only good thing about what happened over the weekend is that in the next game, Miami got a win over a 16-win team in Detroit. But really, they didn't close the separation they needed to with the 6th seed in the Brooklyn Nets. Hopefully they do that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, with the Knicks being ahead of us on the seeding, we got to make sure we get these wins. These are the Eastern Conference battles that we want to get to. So let's look at the New York Knicks. Obviously, Julius Randle having a 57-point outburst in a loss, but they have a lot of dangerous players. Obviously, Jalen Brunson's playing well. RJ Barrett's always capable of going off any given night. So I'm going to go around the horn here, guys. I'm going to start with you, Timmy, and work my way around. Which Knick player are you most worried about, or which is the most dangerous coming into tonight?
Mr. Jalen Brunson. I don't think he played the last time they played us. Was he back? No, he wasn't back. So we lost that game without Brunson, I remember briefly when there was rumors he would come to Miami. People said, "Oh no, I don't want Brunson. He isn't that good." And look how he basically had an all-star season. He just didn't get voted in. That guy's really good. We know how this team struggles with good point guards. We could have won that game if Randall didn't hit that lucky shot. So it's not a. I don't think it's a big gap in terms of the teams. And Brian said the shout out to Fonseca in the chat, and it pissed some people off on the timeline. But the Knicks are kind of like who the Heat wish they were, in the sense that they have they're balancing the young guys with the 2 all-stars. I say that because Julius Randle is mayor, They have hella cap space. They have hella tribal contracts. They have penny picks. This is the one time in the Heat and Knicks rivalry since I've been a fan since 2002 where I actually like a Knicks team other than the middle team. Like, I like this team. I like what they're doing. They play, RJ isn't as bad as people make him seem. I just like this is a pretty good team. Shout out to Thibs. Thibs was my vote to get fired. There was a maybe 2 to 3 week stretch where he should have gotten fired, and then he just turned it around. So like I commend that. Like we're Heat fans, so we kind of like what the Knicks do because again, the grit and grind, that hard nose in your face, throw an elbow on the rib. So that team is difficult to keep up with. But Brunson is the engine that makes it go, and it was clunky in that game. It's going to be pretty smooth when he runs it offense tonight.
Marco, who are you feeling about tonight?
I was going to go with Brunson too because the Heat are terrible at the point of attack. And Gabe Vincent, who's had a very weird defensive year this year, honestly, I don't trust him on Jalen at all. I don't think they're going to switch a lot. They've had a lot of drop coverage since Bam came back. I think Cooper Moorhead pointed out that Bam's been really good in the drop, and I guess that's why they've kind of gone back to it. He's been better than Brook Lopez and guys like Jaren Jackson Jr. So, I mean, those DPO-wise, I don't think he's going to win it, and I don't think he should, honestly. But Cooper Moorhead keeps making these, cases that I'm like, man, this dude's still been really good despite him having a down year defensively for him. But Jalen Brunson. And last time in New York, RJ Barrett was kicking their butts up and down the court. He was kicking Jimmy Butler's butt, Tyler Hero for sure. Anybody they put in front of him, they couldn't stop him. But again, RJ also is capable of going 4 for 32 or something like that. So I'm not as scared of him as I am about Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle. Julius Randle, I mean, he can go off, but that game against Miami last time, those were a lot of tough shots. Those shots, I'm going to give it to him all day long. And if you're going to shoot like 80% on contested fadeaways, good luck to you. Do it again. That's what Miami's going to try to do. Jalen Brunson is the guy that really should worry Miami, and I think he's worrying Pat Riley. I think they're going to game plan for him to take the ball out of his hands.
Mateo?
I hate to be a cop-out and pick Jalen Brunson too because he's so lethal attacking through pick and roll because he can hit mid-range shots and he's a very good finisher at his size at 6 feet. But really, to tell you the truth, my sleeper on this one, and I'm gonna give 2 answers, is really RJ Barrett because, I hate to say it, but whenever he matches up with Tyler, it seems like he gives Tyler Hero the business. He's a little too strong for Tyler to stay in front of him. I think he could have like 20 points tonight, but really it's those two. I know Julius Randle is an all-star, and he'll probably be an all-NBA player this season, but really the biggest one is Brunson because his addition on the floor has really reactivated, Julius Randle from like 2 years ago because teams can't throw the double team so often at him at the elbow and the post, and really you can't sag off as much. So really I would start with Jalen Brunson, but my sleeper is RJ Barrett.
So let's get into today's prize picks, and I'm actually curious about what you guys think about some Knicks props. So we'll go with that to start off with. Throw a little twist in there. Marco, we'll start with you with this one for the prize picks. We got Jalen Brunson at 23.5, and we have Julius Randle at 26.5. What are you thinking about those two numbers?
I'm feeling the Jalen. He's come back from injury though, but I'm still going to go over on the Jalen Brunson. I think the Knicks are going to try to get the Heat to double Randle in the low block. As I think they did that a lot last game, but it was very light doubles. It wasn't like a lot of hard doubles. And I think Jalen's going to be the beneficiary of that. I'm going to go over. I'm not comfortable with it. I would hit that under on Julius, though, because I feel like Bam's going to have something to say. He's going to be like, I'm not letting that happen again. I'm not getting embarrassed by that dude again. A dude that I've historically owned on the defensive side. So I think the Jalen Brunson over, and I take the Randle under.
Nice. We got a couple picks there. So like I said, 26.5. Obviously I think that number is a little bit skewed. Granted that he was coming off of a 57-point game. So I do like the under on that as well, because obviously, like you guys said, the point of attack really is the toughest spot when it comes to where this defense has its weakest tough. So I think I like that as well. So let's get to Miami. Mateo, we'll get to you on this one. Who do you like? We got Bam, we got Caleb, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and Kevin.
Give me Jimmy.
So for Jimmy, a couple of numbers. They got 8.5 free throws made, and they have 24.5 points.
I'm going to go with the over on the free throws because, I think he's going to be able to take advantage of Mitchell Robinson. He's someone who fouls a lot, and his 30 or fewer minutes. Tell you the truth, New York also runs the drop a lot. I think Jimmy Butler is just going to go ham towards the cup and just force a lot of contact. So I would go over on that. I would really expect double-digit free throw attempts.
Timmy, close us out. Who do you want out of the players that I just said for Miami?
I actually want to see here what Hero has.
So for Hero, they have him at 19.5 points. And they also have a half a steal, 3.5 assists, 2.5 free throws made.
I think he might actually want to avenge that last Knicks launch. Knicks lost. I actually, against my better judgment, I actually think it's going to be a good hero game. So give me the over.
Over on 19.5. Cool. So make sure you guys, like I said, use the prize picks. We have the Tyler Hero over on the 19.5. Jimmy Butler over 8.5 free throws made. Julius Randle under 26.5, and Jalen Brunson over 23.5. So use that promo code 5. Use the flex play. So even if one of the picks get wrong, you still get 25% of your money. That's still winning right there. That's compounding your money. That's betting smart. So let's get to predictions, guys. Marco, I'll let you start with predictions, and we'll work our way around. What are you thinking for tonight?
The Heat are back home. They're good at home. Thank God it's not on the road. They came off a good win against Detroit. Ended up winning by double digits. How? I don't know, but they did it. I think tonight they're gonna win, but it's not gonna be pretty. I think both teams are. The Knicks are on a long road, or at the end of a road trip right now. The Heat have just gotten back home. It's gonna be ugly, both sides of the floor. I don't expect anything that resembles modern basketball. Anytime you watch the Knicks and Heat, I don't think you expect that. But I have the Heat winning. I think they know how important this is. It's more important to them than the Knicks is, really. I think the Knicks are kind of really stuck or solidified their spot as a 5 seed right now. I know Miami can catch them, but I feel like Miami, they're more like, we need this win. We need to get out of the play-in spot as it is. So I think Miami's going to probably come out, with more of a disposition. But, the Knicks are actually a good three-point shooter team, which the Heat are not, and that could be the equalizer, but I'm going to go with the Heat.
Mateo?
John, when you lose a game against this same matchup the last time, I think sometime within the last month, where Julius Randle hits a crazy shot and he almost lost the ball twice on that same possession. Players like to say, they get ready for the next one. They don't think about it. I don't believe them. I think because of that, such a stinging defeat where they gave up at least 120 points the last time, I think you're going to see one of the Heat's best efforts of the season, and I don't think the second half is going to be close. The first half may be within 2 or 3 possessions, but I think the Heat are going to blow them out in the second half.
Timmy?
Right with Marco. This like Ethan has told us, this is basically the playoffs. This is the Heat's playoffs. They don't have the luxury to just limp into the playoffs, take a break. The playoffs has begun today until whatever round they lose in. You're officially in playoff mode. Every game matters. He gonna come out and punch him in the mouth and ride from there. I think he's gonna come take it, even though they're gonna have a third quarter. TURD. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think he scrape it out.
I'm right there with you guys as well. I do think Miami pulls it off tonight. I think with just being so close to the playoffs, it's kind of one of those games you have to. I'd rather be wrong. If I don't pick the Heat, whatever. But I'd rather pick the Heat and be wrong. Just pulling a page out of Marco right now. But I do think Miami gets it done tonight. I do think, like you guys said, they don't want that Julius Randle shot to be the defining moment for the Heat versus Knicks series. You know what I mean? So if they're able to kind of get that win tonight, wipe it off. Hopefully it's not a clutch game, so we're not all worrying about having heart attacks. But I do think Miami gets it done tonight. So as always, guys, appreciate you guys joining us live. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe. Use the promo code 5. That's FIVE for the prize picks. Get your free $100 with your initial deposit up to $100. And then go to markbrownpa.com so that way you get your free initial deposit. So we'll have a playback for you. We'll have halftime paces and spaces, and then we'll have post-game show as well. And anything from Marco? Okay, beautiful. All right, so appreciate you guys. Thank you, Mateo, Marco, and Timmy for joining me, and of course Alejandro from one in the back. Let's go Heat.